Okay, is what I did is I took a half a pipe, cut it in two, and then I had this joiner. I put it on this little joiner I got. I know you don't have one of these, but I had one and it works good. You can use a saw, cut it straight, file it smooth. This allows me to get a really nice square edge. It's really nice to have this little joiner, but I know a lot of you don't have that. So see how square that edge is? Very nice. Then I took a measuring tape and I measured one end, and it is 6 inches. Make a little mark at 6 inches on one end of the pipe. The pipe is overall 28 inches long. That's the measurements I used. It seemed to work the best. You could experiment if you want, but I used the 28. Then on the other end of the pipe, I use 2 inches. Mark that at 2 inches. Then I took some masking tape. The reason I use masking tape, it conforms to the shape of the pipe. It's like drawing a pencil line down it, but the tape will curve right along your marks you have. One end on one end of the mark, the other end on the other end of the mark. See, all of this stuff is really simple to do. A little bit of masking tape, skill saw. We're going to cut that right off so you can see the shape of the blade. That would be the leading edge of the blade, the angle part. Now I just took a skill saw, cut it right along that line. The smoother you cut, the better you're going to be off. Of course, I had the joiner. I could put it on there and square it up after it was all cut out. The first couple ones I made, I didn't use the joiner because I didn't know that would be a good idea to do, but I thought I'd try it. That worked out pretty good. Square that up on there, or file it, whatever you need to do. Make them both identical. If there's any way you can weigh them, that's the trick. I just measured them, made them perfect. There you have a blade. I sharpen the edge on it, nice and sharp. File it, sand it. Back edge should be flat. This allows the blade to be quiet when it runs. Then I took some 2-inch flat bar. It's a little over 24 inches long on this one. I think that maybe got a little bit long. The propeller's quite large. And then I decided where I want it and drilled a hole in the middle. That's your middle hole. That's going to go on the alternator. In the very end, you're going to have a 7/16 hole. That's the size of the wind blue rotor. Then I took some 1-inch backing plate just to stiffen it up. They're like big washers. Bolted that all together. I clamped it together, then I drilled it all at once. That way the bolt holes came out perfect. Get it the same distance apart from the center hole where it's going to bolt to the hub. And I mounted up an alternator that I had laying around in the garage on a board, mounted to a ladder so that I could spin test this. It's a good way to balance it also. And you put some washers or weights underneath the bolts, whatever side's heavier. Just put the blades like a 10 o'clock and see where they fall. You know that if one's heavy, you got to add weight to the other side. Same goes with the 3-bladed rotor. Get it the best you can. I didn't take too much time doing this one, but it run out good. I took it outside and put it in some heavy winds. It really cranks. Then I took a drill, got a little device to put in the drill that'll hold the socket so I could really spin it up, so I could check the vibration before it was out running out in the air. This worked out pretty good. And there you have it. Okay, here's the alternator. This isn't a 10 GMSI alternator, but it's similar. I'm just going to show you. I disassembled it earlier to get an idea on what you got to do. Take this apart, set it aside. These are the ears you'll be cutting off the alternator. Set that aside. This is the rotor that gets replaced with the wind blue rotor. Right here. You can toss that. That's no good. This is your stator. This is the 3 phases where the power comes to the rectifier. 1, 2, 3. It is possible to rewind this yourself. If you look on the internet, you can find a way to rewind this. It's going to save you probably about $100 close to. Or you can buy this off the internet at Wind Blue. I just bought one. You can buy all different kinds. The easiest to do. I tried rewinding one. It took me a long time. It took me about a day to do it. So toss that. Don't need that. You need the other housing. Save that. Take the rectifier out. This rectifier is a little bit different in this one. Take it out. Set it aside. You have just basically a blank case with the bearings in it. Order the 2 parts. Put the rotor in. Put the stator in. Put a pigtail of wires on it, probably about 1 foot long, coming off the stator so that you can connect them up and run them down the pipe of the wind generator, or get them out of the housing any way you want. This here is the 3-phase rectifier that you take out of the alternator. You'll be reusing it. You can mount it next to your battery pack. The power comes down in these 3 wires from the wind generator. This rectifier converts it to DC, which then in turn has positive and negative. You can run these wires directly to your battery bank. Even though the voltage will come out from 0 to 35 volts, you can run it directly to 12 volts. The batteries will self-regulate it. This is what I got set up for a battery bank. I got 4 AGM 12-volt batteries all put together in parallel. And all you do is you take the positive wire from your rectifier, connect it up here to the positive, and the negative over to the negative. Put a fuse in line with it so you can protect your circuit from charging. Everything runs into this 2,000 watt inverter I got mounted down here. This powers my whole shop. I've got the drill press hooked up to it. And I got these other lights hooked up to it. Grinder. It all runs off the inverter coming from the batteries. The complete project was built from the power from these batteries from the wind generator. I built a second one earlier, and I powered all the tools in the shop and made the second wind generator. Everything comes out of the batteries. Wait until I make the electric car. Now I don't have a regulator hooked up yet. I got to disconnect it when the batteries reach about 13.6 volts. You can buy a charge controller that'll take the load and divert it somewhere else, either to another battery bank or light bulb or anything you want to run it to. So once your batteries are full, if you don't disconnect the power from them, you can ruin your batteries. They make a device for doing it. You can purchase one of those. I'm going to try to build one myself, though. I'm Lane Erickson from Oconto, Wisconsin. Thank you very much for watching my video, and enjoy building your wind generator.